Hey there, welcome back. And we have reached fall here in Michigan, which means I need to finish up landscaping before winter hits. And some of that means pruning some trees. And I'm excited because today we've got a new tool to add to the collection, a Kobalt 6-inch pruning saw. Never had an electric pruner before. We're gonna go ahead, get this unboxed, get it set up, and see how well it works. Let's go ahead and get this opened up. We'll check out everything that's included. This is the 24-volt 6-inch pruning saw from Kobalt. Got our 24-volt max battery, 2 amp hours. Got a charger for the battery. Got our instruction manual. And then the main attraction, we have our pruning saw. Right off the bat, this feels really lightweight. I don't have the battery attached yet, but once we get that attached, we'll give it a final verdict. So one thing to note is there is a bit of a oil presence here. That's going to be for the chain oil. There's a little reservoir here for automatic oiling. It does not come pre-filled. At first I was wondering if it leaked out, but no, there should not have been any oil in there to begin with, according to the manual. So looking at the construction of this, we've got the rubberized grip here. Feels very natural to hold. We've got our trigger, we've got our safety lock. So as we go to use this, we've got the 2-part mechanism. We push in the safety and then we can pull the trigger. Very simple. Then right here, we have our lock, unlock mechanism. You can go ahead and turn that counterclockwise. And we'll see that in a little bit. That allows us to remove and replace the chain. So now we get to unsheath our pruning saw. And this cover is latched on pretty good. We can see there's these little indents in the molding. We can just kind of squeeze here and remove it. We've got the bumps on each side that are holding that cover in place. Let's take a closer look at the bar and the chain. The chain itself is very sharp, so definitely recommend wearing gloves if you are going to be touching it. You've got this metal bar here that's holding it, and the chain is just sitting in the groove of the bar there. So good finish. You can see the arrows showing the direction that the chain should be installed. And we've got our little guard up here. Spring return. Pruner does not come with bar and chain oil. I picked up a whole quart of it for under $4. We've got our reservoir here. You can see there's a little minimum fill level. So what this does is this is going to auto lubricate our chain and bar. Open up the reservoir. Using a funnel, I dispensed the bar and chain oil into the reservoir. I didn't want to overfill it, so I was pretty cautious. I put the cap back on, checked level. You can see we've got our fill level up there quite a ways, and now we are ready to go. Now let's go ahead, do a quick look at the battery. We've got a button here that will indicate how much battery is remaining. So this is right out of the box. We've got 1 bar, so we're gonna have to get this charged up. Again, this is a 2 amp hour 24-volt max lithium ion battery. Comes with the pruning saw. Let's just go ahead to see how it fits in there. Locks in place. Got the 2 side buttons to undo it. Now with our battery installed, you can see this is not turning on without pressing our safety switch. One thing to note about the safety switch is it is pretty much ambidextrous, meaning you can push it from either side, whatever ends up being more comfortable for you. So for me, I'm pushing it from this side, and then as I push this trigger, the saw should power on. You don't have to hold the safety trigger the whole time that you're holding the primary trigger. You can hold the safety trigger, start it up, and then let the safety trigger go, so you're only holding 1 trigger. Really not very loud with this being electric. You're not using a gas-powered engine that's super noisy. Let's go ahead and check out the sound level of this. So first we'll check out ambient. Now we're gonna turn this on. We're about 33 ambient and 95 with the saw running. So here's the battery charger. I've already got it plugged into a standard outlet. So right now I just have one light on our battery. It's getting low. Let's go ahead, plug it in. So we have our flashing green light indicating that we are filling that battery up. It should go solid when we are full. And if this were a red indicator, whether solid or flashing, that means we are not going to be actively charging. A solid red would mean that the battery's probably overheated, need to let it cool down. And then if you're flashing red, it looks like you've got a dead battery. So the pruner does have a 5-year warranty. The battery has a 3-year warranty. So if you end up with a dead battery, hopefully it's within that 3-year timeline. Otherwise, you're gonna have to buy a new one. Solid light, battery's fully charged. It did take about an hour and 15 minutes to go from the 1 bar up to full charge. So now we can go ahead, remove this. Let's just verify we've got the full 4 bars. We do. Now before we go ahead and take this out into the real world for some pruning, we're gonna do a quick test on our workbench here. I've got a 2x6, so this is 5.5 inches wide. This is pretty much what is recommended as the maximum diameter object that you want to saw with this 6-inch pruner. So we're going to go ahead and see how it chops here on this piece of lumber. All right, first cut. I'll be honest here, I have never used a chainsaw before or an electric pruner, so I really wasn't sure what to expect. And during this first cut, I was really impressed with just how smooth it was. I never felt like I was losing control of it. I then went on to a second cut to see if we could repeat the results and had no issue. And one thing to note as I was using this, I was not trying to apply force or pressure of the pruner onto the piece. I let it move itself. After doing 2 cuts, I had no issue with any sort of binding. In the real world, we'll have branches that are kind of moving and probably not going to be as stable as this, so we will see how this cuts outside. But after these 2 cuts, let's just check the battery. We're still at 4. All right, now for some real world testing. Got a small tree here with some pretty thin branches. About a 1-inch diameter branch. Probably the hardest part was this vibrates as the chain is pulling. And so as it's vibrating, it's not as efficient at cutting. It does tear a little bit, but I think that's just the nature of trying to cut a thin vibrating branch. And as I continued cutting, I saw that the less vibration there was, the smoother the cut I got. One thing we can see is we are getting some of that auto lubrication coming through all across the bar here where the chain is. So that's doing its job. Now we've got a really pretty thick stock here. This is just a woody tree-like weed that's just randomly growing. This is probably a solid 2 to 3 inches in diameter. We've made several cuts and we are at 3 bars though, so depending on how much trimming we do, we may have to stop for a recharge or swap out a battery if you have a second one. And while using this, I found it to be really lightweight, really ergonomically friendly. I did use 2 hands for quite a bit of it, but it would be easy enough with just 1 hand. It's just a hair over 4 pounds in total weight, which makes it easy enough to maneuver in tight locations. This thing has pretty much taken down this unwanted tree, and now we've got just the base left. Pretty much a 5.5 inch trunk that we're gonna work through. This is gonna put the pruner to its ultimate test out here in the field. Even at 5.5 inches, this saw was able to power right through the base of this tree. And I decided to take this opportunity just to do a bunch of cuts, just trimming this down. This allowed me to get a real true feel of the power that comes with this pruner. Pretty much like a mini chainsaw, honestly, the way this thing is just cutting through some solid wood. And even with these bigger cuts, the chip ejection was really solid. I didn't have any issues with this clogging up. And one thing is this thing's running. I mean, it's pulling itself towards the wood, and you have these bumpers here. So these really should be in contact with what you're trying to cut. Just keeps everything nice and stable. So we've still got 3 bars left. We've done a number of cuts on this stump, really just trying to test out our pruner. This is actually really pretty fun to use. I really couldn't have been more impressed with this pruner. I could see this being perfect for trimming trees, clearing storm damage, or just general yard cleanup. All right, doing all of those cuts so close together. I've got 2 bars here. When I just checked a second ago, it was 1 bar, so I think we are starting to get close. We bound up there, so I do think we're losing a little bit of power here as we're getting further into this. So we're just gonna go ahead and do one last cut. Get this thing cut down to the ground. This is pretty much every bit, if not a little bit more, than the 5.5 inches that this pruner is rated for. So no issues. We had 1 bind up, and again, I think our battery's starting to get low, but really solid effort here out of this pruner. Now let's look at a more routine use case for this. I've got these shoots that just continue to sprout up under this tree. They're kind of a pain to deal with just manual shears and loppers. So I gave our new electric pruner a shot at these, and it just sliced through them so easily. And one really nice thing is I was really able to cut down low compared to using manual shears. And even some of the pretty beefy shoots I was able just to cut right through. And similar to when cutting the big branches, didn't really have any jamming here and was pleased with how well everything cleaned up. The one thing to note is I did start this tree with a full battery, and I'd say I ran this pruner pretty continuously for about probably 6 or 7 minutes. And by the end of it, I was down to 1 bar. So the charge on the 2 amp hour battery doesn't last a super long time. Before I give you my final verdict on this pruner, let's just go ahead and see what sort of routine maintenance is going to be required to keep this performing well. We've got the lock-unlock mechanism. Right now we're turned as far as we can be clockwise that holds this cover in place. And it's got this handy little handle that lifts up, allowing you to rotate it counterclockwise. Go ahead, lift our cover off. Now we can see the full picture here. Bar, we've got our sprocket, we've got this little tension piece there that kind of holds everything in place. So we're gonna go ahead and just carefully lift this out. There we go. Now we get a closer look here. Really not a whole lot to it. So again, you've got your sprocket, your tension piece, your bolt to hold your bar in place. So now looking at the bar and the chain a bit more. Got our bar with the groove there. That is what our chain sits in. So if you were going to replace the chain, you could go buy a replacement. You can lay it flat, make sure there's no kinks, and then just carefully insert it. There are arrows on the chain indicating the direction of rotation. In this case, we are rotating counterclockwise. So just simply insert the chain into the grooves, and then insert the chain into the sprocket. Now we can go ahead and push our bar down, kind of angle it up until it kind of snaps down in place. So we are now locked. Once you have it properly inserted, it's in there pretty good even without that safety cover on. So you should be able to kind of move it around without having the bar fall off. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our cover. And that is all it takes. Once you've got everything back in place, make sure that chain can move nice and freely across the bar. And depending on how much you use this, the cutters may dull a little bit. You can use a 4mm round file if you need to sharpen them. So one thing that I'm seeing and I'm confused about in the manual, it talks about being able to adjust the tension on here. It gives some basic instructions. Honestly, I'm not sure that I'm actually seeing how to adjust the tension. It says to loosen this knob here, and then it says to lift up the bar, push and pull. We're relieving the tension of the tension end piece in there. And what we're supposed to do is lift, push, and pull the bar to adjust the tension. And so, not 100% sure when we say lift, what we are actually trying to do here. But I just don't really see a whole lot of change as I'm doing this. It just feels like it's not doing anything and I'm just putting undue force on that tension end piece and some of the internal components. So I am at this point just gonna assume that our tension will remain okay, and if needed, I can always buy a replacement chain. The other thing that we'll really want to do after use is to clean out any debris that's inside the bar and chain area. After pruning our front garden that had all those tree shoots, I found quite a bit of debris and dirt wedged in there, but really it's a breeze to clean. I can run the pruner a little bit more, kick out some of it, and then ultimately I can just remove the cover and use some needle nose pliers or a little pick to remove any remnants in there. And after quite a bit of use now with this pruner, I'm going to recap what I feel are the pros, cons, and give you my final verdict on whether this is worth it. For the good, it's lightweight, compact, and feels really well constructed. Even though it's just battery, it packs a lot of punch, it runs quiet, and I really didn't have much issue with clogging or jamming. It also looks like it's going to be super easy to maintain, and it comes with a solid warranty if an issue does arise. Now, for the not so good, the battery life seems to be on the shorter side. The chain tension adjustment is somewhat questionable, and it doesn't come with any chain oil out of the box. Now, to answer the real question, should you consider this pruner? I would definitely recommend it for small to medium yard work. It's essentially a mini battery-powered chainsaw that's easy to maneuver and has no issues with limbs of up to 5.5 inches. And while you're not going to be chopping down a forest full of trees with this thing, it's a lot of fun to use, especially compared to the manual loppers. But if you have plans for moderate use, it's probably not a bad idea to consider getting another battery for longer runtime. So hopefully you found this content useful. If so, I would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button to see a lot more videos around tool reviews, demos, testing, and other projects around the house. I'll see you next time.